Welcome to this one last podcast. Thank you for joining us today. Today we are celebrating our 100th episode. Indeed. We got a few things in mind to talk about. Definitely the biggest, most prevalent topic that's on everyone's list this week.
Hawkeye!
That's right. Big reveal of a major character from the comics. The Kingpin in Hawkeye. Oh, sorry, spoilers.
God dang it. Shut it down. Shut it down.
We're done. No. Probably the primary topic of conversation is going to be Spiderman No Way Home and the effect that it has had as of this recording. Really, we just finished up the weekend, and this is Tuesday right now.
You'll find out.
Oh, yeah. Non-spoiler, just something to throw out there. It had the third biggest weekend opening of all time. Not of the pandemic, of all time.
And the pandemic.
Well, of course it's of the pandemic, but that's amazing.
Actually, second. It passed Infinity War.
It passed Infinity War? It's second biggest opening weekend of all time. Endgame.
Endgame?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Like the first,
Wow.
the last event for movies and forever.
So you telling me Marvel dominating like that?
Funny, I realized like, after I read that article, top 3 biggest openings of all time all involve Tom Holland. That's kind of fucking nuts. Like, I mean, we'll get into this later, but like, I'll save it for later.
I mean, but
I got a question. I'll save it for later.
even before this, top 3 opening of all time, all involved my girl. Why am I drawing a blank on her name? Zoe Saldana.
Oh, Zoe? Thought you were going to say Gwyneth Paltrow.
No, that's not my girl.
But she's in all three. No.
She's not in Avatar.
She's not in this one.
So
Avatar.
Avatar, Endgame,
Avatar.
and
Avatar had the number 3.
I'm pretty sure.
That's weird. That always felt to me more like a slow burn.
Could be.
Oh, I mean, that's cool. I mean, no love lost.
But
Can't wait for number 2 to come out.
it's been pushed back, hasn't it?
It'll be right after we see the Flash.
Flashpoint. The Flashpoint.
Call it whatever they want. Bullshit.
So first off, I suppose, gentlemen, got anything specific you want to talk about?
My name, P. Breezy, still here.
I just going to say too.
Oh, sorry about that.
Easy, the Flip Boy Slim.
My dog made a brownies for a brownie.
I'm not comfortable with that.
What? You did.
It's like being called Steven. It just doesn't feel right.
Mr. Candy. No, but I'm enjoying some of Paul's delicious, gooey, ooey, sugar-free brownies. Fresh brownie. Oh, we don't get counts, ain't we?
Fresh out of the box.
And of course,
Fresh off the box.
Mr. Ryan Bondline.
That's me.
To my left, right? Right.
Mm-hmm.
What's
the name of the guy on first?
Waka.
I'm being good over here. I'm really being good over here because I'm ready to bust loose.
Ooh,
Do it.
that reminds me. So,
Spider-Man 4, Home Alone. I called it.
All right,
I called it as soon as it happened.
I got something for all of us to try in a second. That was a gift from somebody at work.
I gotta go to work. I can't go to work with trying stuff. Oh, it's, okay.
Anyways, so, granted, it's been a low bar this year. In my personal record book, this is my favorite week of the year.
Mm-hmm.
Now, obviously, as a precursor, I understand no week is perfect. There's going to be deaths of both everyday people, celebrities, whatever. There's going to be bad things happen. There is no perfect week. But for this nerd, this is my favorite week of the year. You got Spider-Man's.
All of them.
Yep.
The Witcher Season 2 came out.
Yep.
All of them.
Fucking killed it.
All of them.
Fuck.
Hawkeye came out with a good episode.
It was really
but
good.
more importantly, this week, the confirmation and reveal of both Vincent D'Onofrio's Kingpin, and Charlie Cox's Daredevil.
Charlie Cox.
Merging worlds.
Yep.
So now they're officially canon. They exist.
He's definitely a very good lawyer. Definitely a good lawyer.
He caught that.
Your boy Thomas Brady got shot for the first time in 15 years.
Nice.
Great news for the rest of us. Because fuck Tom Brady. FTB 12. It's almost Christmas. Everybody's a little bit happier.
Yep.
A little more positive. Not everybody. There's always some cunts out there. And for this nerd in particular, we got a fucking crazy trailer for the Bleach 1,000-Year Blood War anime coming out next year.
For the what?
Bleach 1,000-Year Blood War.
You used to watch that show. Which one of y'all used to watch that show at the time, Bleach? Yeah, both of y'all.
Yeah, so I was rock solid watching that trailer. It looks amazing.
Is it live action?
No, thankfully not. No.
Full on bunkai.
This series, this anime in particular, needs to be animated.
Okay.
Most animes need to be animated because they don't work in live action.
People die when they're killed.
Because even the best live action movie, if we're being honest, will look better animated because you can do more stuff. Like you get taken out because you're putting real people next to CG, next to either being rotoscoped or put on or green screen, or it's nearly impossible to make a flawless live action movie that could not be done better animated. Don't get me wrong; those do exist. I'm sure they are out there.
Okay.
Okay, Endgame works because we had 10 years of crazy movies before it that built up to that point where you had 30 actors, 40 actors. They're able to come on and do a little bit. It can get your nut off. So like that's the only reason why that movie is such an event. That a simple line like "on your left" makes a crowd fucking scream. And it's him and a white guy with blue eyes just whispering "assemble."
Man, just pick up a hammer.
Just very simple, almost cartoonish sounding things get the people going.
I mean, to be fair, those are dreamy eyes.
They are dreamy eyes. But again, like his Endgame is an event. That one works because you've had so much before it. But a lot of the other movies, again, I'm not taking away from those. I'm glad they exist. But also, all those movies, like after Phase 2, like all of them had like $200 million budgets. They're not doing that for animes. They're just not. So when they do, they're still being very very careful to spend the money on.
You think they could ever do a really good live action of Dragon Ball?
Nope.
And any of them?
No. Dragon Ball in particular, for one, part of the hype of Dragon Ball is it taking place across, like multiple episodes and like really ending on cliffhangers and picking up afterwards where it left off and building up a lot of these things, which you can't really do in a movie because you got to keep it to a 2-hour time limit, even if some like Endgame with a 3-hour time limit, but it was a 3-hour movie that was the culmination of 10 years of storytelling.
Amazing.
Yep.
Amazing.
It's amazing. It is amazing. So, like, no, I don't think that you could do a live action Dragon Ball and have it be any good. Obviously, there's some templates for American takes on anime that are just not great. In fact, right now, the best American take on anime is Battle Angel Alita.
Oh, that was good.
That was good. But the crazy thing about it is it was almost like a scene-for-scene remake, but it was done in like an updated, more interesting visual style, and like you can clearly tell there was a lot of love put into it. I just
read an article even today that they were saying Rodriguez was trying to do a part 2.
Mm-hmm. He's been trying to do a part 2 for a while now, but
like we might get it.
Just like we got part 2 of Sin City in a timely manner. Wow. Yeah. Wow. I don't even think that he was involved in that much. Because I think what did he That one wasn't Rob Rodriguez. That one was actually what's his name? Wasn't that one where
James Cameron?
No, I don't think that was it. No, but Battle Angel. You're right about that, but but no, I thought it was who did Sin City 2? Is that the one that Frank Miller directed? Yeah, that's what I thought. So
But he didn't do one, did he?
No, Rob Rodriguez did one.
Okay.
But Frank Miller, the creator of Sin City, who has no experience directing, did the second Sin City.
And it was better?
It was bad. It wasn't bad, but it wasn't good. It failed to capture the same feeling, and part of it is because they made a new story to make it like a continuation that involved one of the characters from the first one, and it wasn't good. Is that coquito?
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
What's a coquito?
Coquito is Puerto Rican eggnog.
Oh, pretty cool.
It's made with like condensed milk and everything like that, so you might want to be careful. Made with condensed milk and coconut milk and evaporated milk, and
That sounds sweet.
it's really sweet, but it's good. It's creamy as fuck.
And based on the smell, lots of rum.
Puerto Ricans make a lot of stuff when you come down in that kitchen. Ooh, Puerto Rican cook. Woo!
Contrarily, there are a lot of Japanese live action takes on anime adaptations that are excellent. Like the Netflix adaptation of Death Note is garbage, but if you ever watch a Japanese adaptation of Death Note, it's great.
I think that's because that's more cultural for them then. I mean, it's cultural for them. I'm saying
They don't
more.
feel the need to change it.
Yeah.
Like, it's already part of their culture, and whereas I think...
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
One happy 100th.
Thank you for
Feliz
that.
Navidad.
It smells delicious. Oh, man.
It's creamy.
They should have made this a candle. Ooh.
It's creamy, sweet. A little spicy. A little spice to it. A little cinnamon, a little nutmeg.
That is very sweet.
Actually, does not have a whole lot of heat to it.
Ooh.
But
That works.
Yep.
Alright, so I guess we'll hold off on The Witcher 2 since D hasn't watched anything.
No, we good. We can talk about it.
You watched it?
I haven't got season 1 yet.
You need to experience it. You gotta experience it.
But I'm still trying to finish up Cowboy Bebop.
We've had
Yeah.
3 years.
okay, so you're talking about the anime. You're talking about the anime.
Yeah, I'm almost done with the anime first season.
So we'll hold off on Witcher for now. It's a great... I loved it. I'll say at least in my take on it. I was up and down throughout the season, but at the end, I put this above season 1.
So far, so good. I haven't finished it yet. It's, in my opinion, more eventful, and it has a better through-line story. Whereas, like, don't get me wrong, I really dug the part of season 1 where it kind of, you see, like, there's sort of a out-of-place timeline thing going on.
Yeah, well, I see, and then like you don't realize until like late in the season.
Yeah, which was cool. Like, it was a nice twist. This one is not like that at all. It is just straightforward story, but it's doing it really well.
Well, and again, it's great because it's not hampered by world building. Like the first season is really like has to like build up who these people are, the places, like everything. But like, it gets into it. Like, I'll say the third season is going to be nuts, fucking nuts.
I like that.
Bananas.
Like a good version of season 8 Game of Thrones.
So I saw a meme about the Spider-Man movies, the Homecoming Spider-Man movies, and it was like the picture where it's they draw a horse, and like it starts out like really really good, and then progressively gets worse, or the other way around, like it starts out really goofy and bad, and it progressively gets worse. This one was like the first one was like a well drawn general outline of a horse. And then the second one was just like the midsection, but drawn with no detail at all. It was just like 2 lines. And then the third one was just this like CGI rendered fiery Mustang steed of like.
Steve.
It was like, it was like, holy shit. It's like, yeah, it's kind of accurate. It's like the other two were good, just a little straightforward. The second one for sure was a little bit more straightforward, but this one was just phenomenal. But
you know what, man? I don't think people realize how lucky we are when we talk about acting.
Mm-hmm.
Like today, it's almost
acting.
It's almost impossible to see a bad performance, especially in the MCU. it's not a lot of bad performances in the MCU.
Oh, MCU, no. But again, because they spent a lot of time and money on casting, because they put the work in.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of other franchises don't. They spend more time trying to build the franchise as opposed to make a good movie.
I thought this cast right here, bro, even in like the Hawkeye series, the acting is phenomenal. Like,
well, yeah, but look at who you got. Like, you got Vera Farmiga, who has been in like she's a top tier actor for the last few years. Haley Steinfeld, who's been like started kind of small and has just blown up. And obviously Jeremy Renner goes all the way back to the Hurt Locker.
I'm talking about like the big. I'm talking about everything. Even like the suit guys, like they are really good.
Bro,
they are amazing, man.
Yeah,
Even the dog.
Kate Bishop is guy, bro.
The dog do a good job.
Yep. Lucky the Pizza Dog. What's his name? Pizza Dog.
I'm just saying,
It's
like,
not his name. It's more a title of nobility. It's like Earl of Sandwich.
But with me saying that about the acting, there was one actor in this, and I'm just teasing this for later. Mm-hmm. There was one actor in this that you can't pay this man enough.
Put his foot in it.
Bro, he put his foot in it, bro.
I mean, there's two actors that did it, but
but he was a bit above everybody, and you can tell.
Like,
bruh.
I think we're thinking of two different people as far as like who I think did the best in the movie and who really like stepped it up.
Well, I ain't talking about step up. I'm talking about like just straight out acting. Like just say, okay, y'all are peons to me.
Okay. Well, then maybe we are talking about the same person, but we'll get into it later. So Witcher Season 2 so far turned out pretty good. Definitely recommend to watch. I haven't finished it. Paul has finished it. I'm already looking at it and saying, wow, this is getting really good. Paul said it goes...
I watched all 8 episodes in one day.
Really?
But see, that's why I like to do things. I like to take a day or two just to finish a whole 2 seasons.
Could have fooled me, D. Could have fooled me.
I'm going to get there.
To be fair, if I were to tell him to finish something, I would definitely tell him to finish Cowboy Bebop before Witcher.
That was weeks ago.
But
Weeks.
Watch this.
Almost a month.
Watch this.
Over a month.
24 minutes.
Have you seen Season 1 of Discovery? Have you started yet?
Hell no. I never actually agreed to that.
Yes, you did. Did you finish This Is Us?
It's 5 seasons.
I know Season 1. It was only supposed to be Season 1.
Okay. I did not. I only got like 3rd episode, but...
Where did I figure out where
y'all talking about me?
Where did I figure out where it was again? Was it?
I mean, This
Amazon?
Is Us is hour-long episodes.
I think it was. But if you really look, it's only what? Well, Season 1 was. Season 1 brung it. But Season 1 brung it, bro. Mm-hmm. Season 1 of that. I want to eventually rewatch that before I see the next season, the last season. I just got, last night I watched a couple movies I had been trying to watch for a while. What's the movie that's on Apple with the dude where he was sick and he cloned himself?
Ted Lasso?
No.
Oh, no.
Muhammad Ali. He got a
Mahershala
Ali. He has a movie. It is fantastic. Y'all probably won't like it because it's a dramatic movie, but it's fantastic. It'll make you laugh. It'll make you cry. It'll make you laugh again. It's fantastic.
I mean, I probably won't watch it on Apple TV.
I told you got my password.
That would mean he has to watch Apple TV.
You ready for my password? You ready?
Live on the air.
Can you even get that on the Samsung TV?
Yeah, I set it up for you the other day. When me and the twins was here on my vacation, I set it up for you. We put the password in and everything. You was there.
I was not there.
You was barbecuing.
There it is.
But I told you I was doing it though, and you were like, "Yeah, I get around to it."
Speaking
agree, disagree.
Getting around to it, I don't know if any of you guys have seen, but recently Marvel unveiled a new logo for iconic character, the Punisher. The reason for this seems to largely be because of its recent association with certain hate groups, and people kind of co-opting it to have a very negative message. What do you think about the new design?
I've seen it already. I think it's an improvement.
I don't like it.
I like it.
I don't. It's
like
too edgy.
It's an edgelord Hawkeye.
Yeah.
To me, it looks like a hockey mask.
Those horns are too much, man. I can't like
Yeah,
those.
no.
I don't like them.
I don't like it. I think that...
it's not for me.
I'm pissed that we had to change the old one.
You shouldn't change the logo because of what douchebags are doing with it. Yeah. That means you're caving to their negative behavior. Mm-hmm. But I understand that they wouldn't want to be associated with it, but at the same time, you're taking a logo that has stood the test of time for 50 years. Came out in the 70s, right? Like,
and this is the best thing I can say. Don't get used to nothing, because there's going to be somebody that comes to complaining, and they're going to change because they're complaining. So I don't get used to nothing. I expect everything to change. That's where we are right now.
I mean, I'm not pissed because one, it'll be back within a year or two.
Yeah.
I mean, hell, I mean, again, they made him an angel for like 2 years. So I don't think he really matters what the dude put the Punisher anymore.
With demonic weapons or demonic killing weapons.
No, they were like weapons from heaven.
Yeah.
He was an agent of heaven. It was hilarious.
Jesus was like, oh, they want a trip? Go get that boy down there. Go get him.
He was trying to shoot his way back into heaven.
Yeah.
Go get that boy. Let me show them what they really want, what they really don't want. Go get him.
Oh, Lordy. So, kind of funny bit of news that I heard. There's an actual petition out there launched on, I believe, change.org to keep Cowboy Bebop canceled. Because there's another petition out to uncancel it. Yeah. So, yeah.
The homie started a petition to say if anybody spoils No Way Home, they should get jail time.
The funny one that I saw was spoil No Way Home and win a chance to meet Stan Lee.
Surprise! You won.
That was the nice way of saying mess around and find out.
Look if you buck.
Tell him what he's won. These fucking hands.
Oh, but I didn't see a lot of spoilers. They did a good job with, like, even the people showing the screenshots and little clips on YouTube, and they was deleting them instantly.
Yeah, it's good. I think we all knew because of the Brazilian trailer with lizards kind of something. And when I was watching it in the theater, I kept pointing it out. There it is. Although I like some of the theories about it, like one of them was that it was Deadpool or something was pulling him to the side. Yep. Yeah, that's pretty good.
Hey, we were supposed to be talking about Witcher, right?
Yeah. Well, we can't talk about Witcher because you haven't seen it.
No, I'm saying I was giving a little bit of explanation.
Henry Cavill is still a stud muffin.
The correct term is units. He is a
absolute unit.
He's still a unit.
Still a unit. Still an absolute fucking unit. Yeah. I mean, it's been a pretty good week for sure. I would say that a lot of great entertainment. I mean, it's been a great last couple months. Like, to me, I feel like the last 3 to 4 months has been fantastic for entertainment in general. I know you have your...
I like the chain shot and the other one.
Yep.
Oh, no, listen, I'm not arguing about the last few months. I'm just saying this week in particular was fucking lit.
Yeah. It certainly did pack it in there.
The only thing that would have affected it would have been like some better cigar weather. That would have been the only thing that would have been even better.
It's been unseasonably miserable.
It's been the usual. That's how it usually is here, man.
Mm-hmm.
It was actually cooler longer during like Halloween and November than it usually is. So I'll take it. It usually chills down around New Year's for a bit. Don't get it later on.
Yeah. All really good. Hawkeye's been pretty good. Like, nothing crazy, like, wild or anything like that, but...
No, yeah, I really don't... I mean, again, I guess what I assumed was correct, that, like, with the rumors about Episode 5 breaking the internet, quote-unquote, was just confirming the Kingpin that we already knew was going to be in there.
Yep.
Like, all right, yeah, that's exactly what I was afraid of.
All my fears had come true.
Thank you for the nothing.
Yep.
I appreciate everything you've done for us and didn't do for us.
My disappointment is immeasurable.
They are who they thought they were.
Yeah, that's why we took the damn field. So I changed my watch face just for the Spider-Man. I've been switching between that one and Witcher, and if I go out to karaoke, I have a karaoke one now. It's a singing microphone.
Hey, Ryan.
Yes, sir.
What you drinking?
I'm drinking a delicious, apart from the coquito that you so generously shared with us, which is quite lovely. I'm drinking a delicious peanut butter chocolate whiskey from Ballantine. They have a line of various flavored whiskeys and such, and the peanut butter chocolate is phenomenal.
Yeah.
I like this one especially because it's a bit more like just nutty, like roasty and smells good, as opposed to like a typical like peanut butter whiskey, which almost is more like peanut brittle in my opinion. Like it's sweeter and
Yeah.
Like this is very roasty and it has a nice chocolatey finish to it.
They're changing the game with the flavored whiskeys these days.
Yes, they are. I think one of the first ones that really kind of set up the change outside of Screwball and even Fireball. Fireball is more novelty in my opinion, but is the maple bacon, the Rosies.
Yeah.
Like that one is fire. And I know you're not really a bacon flavored type of guy, but
Well, another thing is like the bacon flavor they use for a lot of stuff is just smoke.
yeah, smoke
I
and
don't
salt.
much care for a lot of like smoke. Like that's why like I'm not a huge fan of like mezcal.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'll drink tequila all day. Mezcal, hey, it's situational. With the right cocktail,
Yeah,
I'm down. I don't like eating smoke. Like I know, like in certain foods, like certain barbecue will work great, but most of the time they use like that liquid smoke or like just like a smoke flavoring, and it does not work, man. It's not the same.
yeah, I suppose so.
And people don't realize with liquid smoke, you still gotta cook it.
Yeah. Well, it's supposed to open up the flavors a little bit better.
Yeah. So, and like I said, and that complaint for me mostly is with drinks and like cheese. I hate like smoked cheeses.
Smoke Gouda is good.
I hate it. Give me an aged Gouda. I'll take aged Gouda all day.
Never had aged Gouda.
That's why you're saying that, dude. Plus, 9 times out of 10, the smoke, like a smoked cheese usually goes for like a cheap cheese. Usually, I mean, again, not always, but like the smoke flavoring, especially. Now, like they'll do like example, it might be different. Would be like a Gruyere. They'll like actually smoke those. But like, yeah, usually it's like just like the pasteurized cheeses.
What's
Just
called
like
Gruyere?
Gruyere.
Never heard of that too today. Trying to get my cheese game up.
So are we just getting into it?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So as Ryan,
Spider-Man 4 going on.
Yo, cheese game up.
as Ryan teased earlier. Okay, the numbers for this movie are hilarious. The first day the movie was released, the first day, it already had the biggest domestic box office opening of the year. The first day.
By first day, you mean Friday or you mean Thursday?
It did not specify.
Okay.
That's good when I went to see it.
I went and saw
I
it
would
Thursday.
imagine Thursday. Really, either day probably because I mean it's been pretty weak. I mean it hasn't been crazy openings anyway. So either it did not specify. I didn't do a whole much more research into that. I just thought that enough was hilarious to me. But they choose either day. And if it's Thursday, it's even better because it's half a day. Because most theaters didn't start showing until 3:00. And then Friday, I mean, again, obviously it worked out because a lot of like work and school were either taken off or people just called out.
Yeah. The twins like, we're not going.
And then, yeah, by Monday, it it became the second highest opening of all time, behind Your Boy Endgame. Clearly, I mean, it broke all the records for the pandemic. Everything entirely just big. And again, probably just even more as important. It did all this during the pandemic still.
Yeah. That's why I was like, during the pandemic.
Sorry, Red Nation, we're still during the pandemic.
Red Nation.
It was the best opening for the month of December. It was the greatest opening for the Spider-Man franchise.
The worst nation.
And the biggest opening for a Sony movie.
Oh.
December, Spider-Man, and Sony broke records for all three of them.
So it beat the other Spider-Mans.
Yeah, everything.
Wow.
And again, not just for inflation, just total opening. Again, that means because remember, every Star Wars for the last whatever years opened in December. So I mean, you beat all of them.
Yeah.
And again, granted, don't get me wrong, Spider-Man is bigger than Star Wars. That's just a fact.
Yeah.
He has been for a long time. And already the movie has made $600 million.
That's gonna be a Billy.
In 4 motherfucking days.
They gonna hit a Billy
Easily.
Question
Question: are they going to hit 2, or are they going to hit 3?
It's gonna.
I hope
See, I don't understand. I'm already jumping the board. I don't understand why they're releasing The Matrix this week. That's stupid. Why put yourself in the crosshairs like that? Like, is it just to get it off the books?
I think they're cocky.
IGN already released their review, and they gave it a 4.
Bro, it could have been a 9. It ain't doing shit against Spider-Man.
No, it won't.
Because first of all, it's not a family-friendly movie.
Yeah.
So already you're losing those people.
It's not family friendly.
Do you think it is, D?
I don't know.
Did you watch any of the first ones?
With twins.
Like this year?
Last year we watched the 1 and 2, and then we still gotta watch 3.
But the kids were like 13 now?
Uh-huh.
So like, yeah, that's...
Well, they're 14 now, but they would have been 13.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So they're teens. I mean, it's a little older, but I mean, like, Spider-Man is like the most provocative guy was they said shit 3 times. It's the worst it got.
When I went with Ryan, there was a little girl leaving the theater. She was like, "This is so good." It was somebody in the back. I don't know who it was, but she was bawling.
Yeah.
And it wasn't even a part where you supposed to bawl at.
Yeah, it was.
It was when Toby got stabbed.
No. That's not when she was crying.
Yeah, it was. It wasn't that auntie. It wasn't that auntie.
No, it wasn't. It was when he was going to see MJ.
Huh?
It was when he was going to see MJ.
Post spell?
Post spell. That's when she was crying.
Oh yeah, it was, wasn't it?
Yep.
Yeah, it was, wasn't it?
So it broke all these records the same week that SNL had to shut down because of COVID.
I will say at that part that you were talking about, there was an audible gasp
Yeah.
in the theater.
So, okay, I don't know about you guys. I know Diesel. I saw this movie twice. You saw it twice?
Twice.
Yep.
Twice?
Yep.
I went Thursday night because I just couldn't avoid the internet. It was very quiet when the first time we watched it.
I came after I watched it the first time on
You
Thursday.
came after you watched it? Nice.
And I couldn't say nothing.
I need a little extra work.
I couldn't say anything. He was like, I ain't watch it. I'm like, bruh. And I just wanted to just like, blah, 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 like
The second time I watched it, I went with Kevin again, my mom, Christine, her boyfriend, and the kids. Several times in the movie, the kids and Ricky cried.
Listen.
Emotional responses, bro. Yeah. I got teary once. I forget. Oh, it was when they were on the top of the school giving their great responsibility speeches.
Yeah.
When they were going over that, that's when I started getting misty-eyed.
I cried when Andrew walked in through the portal. I was like,
I
couldn't help it, man. It was my dog. I couldn't help it.
So I'll say this: the movie did a really good job with reveals.
Yeah,
because it just drops it on you. So like,
Doesn't fuck around.
we're like 8 minutes in, bam, Charlie Cox. Eat it.
I'm a very good lawyer.
That's great. That's hilarious. I mean, hilarious.
At this point, I walked up like, I owe y'all some more money.
Yeah. I feel bad. Like,
I'm cheating y'all right now.
like, movie is great. I feel bad. I didn't pay you enough.
Again, Garfield, they open the portal. And like, see, first of all, like you see from distance, like, I'm like, all right, looks a little taller, looks a little leaner. It even looked like kind of cartoonish the way it was in there. So I'm like, all right, well, obviously we're not bringing it to the Spider-Verse, so it's got to be your boy. It's got to be Garfield. It's got to be. Pops out. The second time was great. The second time when he popped out, took the mask off, crowd fucking exploded.
Yep.
The crowd fucking exploded.
The same thing.
Almost as big when Toby pops out.
Yep.
But Andrew did get the bigger response.
It was ongoing.
To be fair, he was the first one, but and I honestly thought it was Toby in the first one because of the setting. Looked a lot like the Spider-Man No More scene that they did in the second movie. But I think the Charlie Cox appearance got a applause. Me too. Like, I'm not gonna lie to you. I don't normally partake in that, and just like it was such a mood and so exciting. Like I absolutely did.
I seen it right my second time, and I was like this the whole time.
You guys, like we're both just elbowing each other, like
we just elbowed each other.
This is my shit.
And then the Toby and then the other one that got like applause was the 3-way 3-point landing. Where they're swinging around they're in the middle of the big battle at the end.
Oh yeah.
And they're swinging around and when they finally have the teamwork speech and they finally get it together and they all swing around and they all swing up and go in front of the moon doing the Spider-Man pose and then they all let 3-point land. And that one also got
That was solid. That was solid. That being said, I do wish they'd done that during the day. It would look so much better. Like they could have done it like twilight or like dusk, just so because I know like they did it at night, so that way Jamie Foxx looks cooler. But like,
he was already looking cool. He came in, he was looking cool.
I mean, just those. I want to see those like kind of
Spider-Man. Hey, like the new.
Like the blue and red just pops better during the day.
Yeah.
I mean, again, it's not. It didn't ruin anything for me. It was like, which is it during the day? It would look a lot better.
I'm gonna be honest with you. My favorite part of them was none of the battle scenes.
Oh, 100%.
It was like, no, wait. He's asking because we have to make our own. Like that whole scene was the best.
All that was great. The both Goblin fights are amazing.
Yeah. Well,
they're just so much more visceral and like.
I can do a whole show on Goblin alone. I'm not get into Goblin, bro.
But just both of those fights, just like even outside of the performances from the actors themselves, just the choreography on it, and what they did, like with him, like kind of like basically like prowling and taking his fucking time to attack him and like squaring up with the other, like the other bad guys come in, like I forget who it was, I think the Lizard like knocks him through the window and then he runs up and grabs him and power bombs him through 2 levels of fucking apartment and then just like like, and even at the end there when Spider-Man's getting all like worked up and he's gonna really beat the shit out of him and he does that flip over whip and then slams him into the ground. It's like, holy shit, that's awesome. Like this is not like a normal fight.
No,
this is like this is personal.
That second fight was hatred, bro. It was hatred in that second fight, bro.
Yep.
Oh my goodness.
It was intense.
Yeah, it was. Yes, it was. Oh my goodness.
And I was listening to the Mr. Sunday movies, and they were talking about like how this is like the first time, and I know I'm kind of skipping things. I'm going straight to the idea of Green Goblin, but like this is the first time that he's ever fought a villain that is like just crazy, not like some guy with motivations and like, oh well, so and so Tony Stark and them took my the money out of my pocket because they're doing the damage control thing, or I got to face off against Mysterio who's kind of a dick, or even going against the other Avengers in Civil War, going like all that was like all these motivational things. Green Goblin just kills people for fun.
Yeah,
Green Goblin's just a psycho.
Real,
he doesn't care.
Like even Thanos ain't what Green Goblin was.
No.
Like Thanos had it was something to his.
It was
madness.
a goal. It was
yeah. he was like, oh, this is New World.
It's the first time that he's fighting an actual villain, like an actual criminal. Like,
and that's what I loved about the Green Goblin.
A proper villain.
Proper villain. Like
he might be the best villain in the MCU now.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, he for sure was the MVP of the movie.
Oh, absolutely.
Bruh. Don't even get me started in that, bro. Don't even. We'll get that later. But going back to what I was saying earlier, like the banter between the three Spider-Mans was
so good.
That was my.
So good.
I love you guys.
Spider therapy. It was spider therapy. Like they're all just pumping each other up and patting each other on the back.
I will say, that was my favorite segment of the movie was from when Toby and Andrew meet up to when they start the fight on Statue of Liberty.
Yeah.
Like all that in between when they're just sciencing the shit out of stuff, and they're going back and forth, and Peter.
Just gonna go there.
He's Peter. We're all Peter. Peter Parker.
Yeah.
Still. Peter. Okay.
Do you want to do your favorite line?
Oh yeah. All right. Did you bring a suit, or are you gonna just look like a cool youth pastor? I lost it.
Oh, that was great.
He just looks at him and like.
That was great because that was right before he shows his organic weapon, and then that starts a whole conversation.
So, does it just come out of your wrist, or does it come out of
Other places.
You know, we can't do that, so naturally we're curious.
Oh, man.
It's such a great thing. It's like, there's so many moments there, and like even like one of my favorite moments from the whole scene is like right at the end, after the big battle, and then Doctor Strange casts a spell, and he's saying his goodbyes, and he just goes up to the two Spider-Man, and he's just like, "Thank you," and it's like that works on so many levels. Like, thank you for pioneering the Spider-Man franchises. Thank you for giving me all the advice that you can. Thank you as the character. Thank you as the actor. Thank you as all of us watching to see these things come to life finally. Very emotional moment for me.
What made it emotional is the fact that I know I'm not going to get them two again.
Yeah.
You know?
That's good. That being said, so I think we all can agree Andrew Garfield absolutely brought his A game this time.
Oh, bruh.
Maybe he never didn't bring his A game. But I feel like he was, like, we talked about it, like, he was the only one there that I thought was having fun being Spider-Man.
I think this is what I said. I think it was like, Toby was like, I'm used to this. This is what I do.
He's the older version of Spider-Man. He's supposed to be like kind of the haggard. He's been through shit.
Tom Holland, he looked nervous. Mm-hmm. Andrew, like, what's next, guys?
Hey, guys, let's go.
Let's do it.
A little bit more cocky, a little bit more.
Well, like I said, and also too, like looking at it from real life perspective, yeah, Toby, who's like he's been dealing with this for 20 years.
Yeah.
Got Garfield, who is his chance to kind of
he loved that role,
put the haters away.
Mm-hmm.
And Tom, I mean, really, it was a very emotional movie for this character to have.
Yeah.
So he couldn't have fun because his world's upside down from the start.
Yeah.
Like with the recap, it's all shit from there.
I hate to say this, but the fight on the bridge was the worst fight in the movie, and it was still a right fight.
It was very good.
I thought the fight between him and Doctor Strange was a really good fight.
It was really good.
When he geometryed it out.
Yeah.
He was like, how are you doing this?
You know what's cooler than the magic? Math.
Well, yeah, only because there weren't that many actual fights. I mean, although if we're counting anything that could be technically a fight, I would say probably the Electro, Sandman, Spider-Man fight was the worst, just because it wasn't really a fight.
Yeah, that was a cool moment though.
I think the reason why I'm gonna count that as a bad fight because of the reveal. Because that reveal was a good reveal.
It was
a good reveal, but a reveal isn't a fight.
What was kind of funny to me about
he's walking through the woods, bro, and you see the sand move.
What was funny,
go crazy, bro.
What's funny to me about that whole thing is like as he's they're doing their thing and he pops up and blocks him with the wall and everything.
That was pretty cool.
Peter, it's me, Flint Marko. No shit. I thought it was the other guy made out of sand.
Yes. I do love they go to the extra effort of getting every actor back for that.
Yeah.
Because they very easily could have just like done CG Sandman, CG Lizard, but like properly bringing them back.
Yep.
Kudos.
Yes, sir.
Spin that paper, baby.
Yeah. I was a little bit questionable where like Sandman was always in sand form until the very end.
Well, so, and I think that, again, this is probably one of the first, one of the major, like, plot holes we got to deal with this movie. Mm-hmm. So, assuming, based on what they're telling us, Goblin is pulled out when he's about to be stabbed. Mm-hmm. Doc's being pulled out right before he drags the thing down in the water. Mm-hmm. When he's like, when he finally snaps to and, like, when he stops trying to kill Peter.
Yep.
Lizard's brought up right before he gets like gassed and dies. Jamie is right after he gets blasted into the grid and separated into a billion pieces.
I got my body back.
No, bro, you got somebody else's body.
but they, because again, obviously we're seeing Toby 17, 20 years later, when he's 37 years old, quote unquote. Garfield, when he's now quote unquote 26, 27 in his universe. So it's been, again, 6 years since that happened, 8 years since that happened. And then we got Sandman, who again, he just kind of like fucked off at the end of 3.
Yeah. So
there's no telling what time. So there may have been some like emotional breakdown he had, where again, it could very well be like a fucking what's her name, lady from Doom Patrol, where like his emotional state of mind, his psychosis plays a factor in his ability to maintain his form, and maintain the visual of this is who I am.
Yep. Read it far.
So,
but he knew about Alfred Molina and
right, but he knew about that before Spider-Man 3.
Yeah. All of his in the timeline.
So I'm saying, like, at some point afterwards, just like Garfield and just Spider-Man 1 and Spider-Man 2, like, they were out in the world for a while after the films.
Yeah, because he was he killed people.
I love that.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
you lost your girl?
Well, and again, I don't think that he specified that he killed people, just that he went full Batman on them.
Yeah. I don't know what you heard, but I heard I murdered me some dudes.
He said at some point, I got bitter and I stopped pulling my punches.
Now, realistically, yes. If he stopped pulling his punches, then everybody's fucking putty. Yeah. But I don't know that he was. If he did, he would not be as gleeful as he was.
Yeah. Well, when he was telling that story, he was crying.
Well, yeah, because again, like how he was, like he's supposed to be like Spider-Man's supposed to be the ideal. He's supposed to be like he deals with all this and still finds a way to come out, smiling on the other side. He deals with. His lack of resources, his lack of people in his life, the problems that he creates for the loved ones in his life, all the drama it causes, the people who know who he is, that cause him problems, and just the compounding issues of being the wall crawler.
A hero who always saves the day with a smile on his face.
Neighborhood Spider-Man.
Perseverance.
That's all Mike Paul. That's all Mike Paul.
But perseverance and, loss, that's two of the defining factors of Spider-Man.
Big facts.
So, yeah, love. I mean, like I said, I came to the realization before this movie came out that like Garfield was my favorite Spider-Man. That being said, which we'll get to later on, his films are not anywhere in my top. Mm-hmm. But we can have a conversation later on in a minute.
I smell hate when you said that.
Alex, listen, I'm sorry you can overlook everything in the world. I can't overlook.
I'm sorry you got a good heart.
Sorry your nature is good.
Yes. Sorry you a good ass man.
Okay, but let me give you a prime example of why I liked this. When he in this movie when he was talking to Electro up there, and Electro, he was like, "Come on, man, I believe in you. You was always cool to me." Then Electro throw a dig back at him, and he was like, "Oh no." He got down like he was super emotional, and then shot something at him. Like I like that, dude. Like he was like, it's funny. He do this funny. He was like, I thought you were gonna be black. Oh, I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. It's like you. What did he say? The way he put it, he was like, you. The suit.
You from Brooklyn.
You from Brooklyn. You help a lot of poor people. Be honest. He said, first he said, you got a good face, kid. Yeah. And it's like, the suit. You from Brooklyn. You help a lot of poor people. I thought he was going to be black. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry about that.
That's what I like about
I didn't mean to let you down.
That's right. I'm sure there's black Spider-Man somewhere.
Yeah.
That's what I like about that Spider. That's what I like about his Spider-Man, man.
Oh, no, this was like the endgame equivalent for Spider-Man.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it brought back the best villains. It brought back the best characters. I mean...
I was pondering this right here about the 3 Spider-Mans. We all said that we think Tobey is the best Peter.
I think, yeah, that's a fair assumption.
And we all said that we thought...
well, no, we didn't agree on most of this, but...
No, I'm saying we all thought that we thought Tobey.
Tobey was probably one of the best Peters. Andrew's probably the best Spider-Man, and Tom Holland is the best combination between the two.
No, that's not one going. I think Tom Holland was Morales.
Miles Morales.
I think he was master. This was if you put him dark skinned, that would have been a perfect Miles Morales series. And that was my problem I had with this is too many training wheels on this kid this whole series.
Yeah.
And that's the problem I had with the home series is that right there. Like, they didn't let him be Spider-Man. He was never Spider-Man or the Spider-Man. Yeah. He was never the Spider-Man. And he really was never Peter. He never had an MJ. He had Ned as the best. So it was like this was Miles Morales.
How?
In every way that...
You mean from the video game?
I didn't play the video game.
Then what because none of what you're saying, other than... being the shadow of somebody else, that's the only thing that correlates to Miles Morales.
Well, I was saying the way they'll treat him like so kid, the way the MCU treat him so like kiddie. That's what I was saying.
But
because like
people
Spider-Man
forget that Spider-Man, for the last 30 or 40 years, Spider-Man has been like more or less an adult. But for the first 20 years of his characters, he was like a teenager and a college student.
I'm just going off the first 2 series. Like, Tobey didn't have nobody to train him. Garfield didn't have nobody. They was out there just figuring it out on their own. When in the first movie, you had Iron Man there. He had Iron Man Tech. Second movie, you had Mysterio, what his name is? Mysterio there.
Oh, I'm sorry. I meant to say you're basing this off of the Spider-Verse. Your opinion?
No.
Because Miles didn't have, in the comics, he didn't have anybody to teach him.
Nope.
Really?
He has powers after Peter died.
Okay, well then, maybe it is from the.
Now again, in the same idea that he was in somebody's shadow, and also again, like you were saying in the comics, like when he was coming up, there were superheroes, but like it wasn't like now where there's like 1,000 groups and there every 3 blocks you have a new superhero. Like it was him, Daredevil, and the Fantastic Four. Like that was it in New York. Then other ones started popping up. Because again, he came out in '63. It was
Miles
him.
Morales been around that long?
Spider-Man.
Oh.
Miles Morales has been around 19 years, 20 years, something like that. And even then, he's evolved a good amount since then. Listen, I have not loved the MCU version of Spider-Man. I would say Tom Holland is probably the best. What's the word? When 2 sides have to agree on like something.
Compromise.
He's the best compromise.
It's a good compromise. No one is happy.
Perfect. Because again, Tobey, and even that I'll argue because I think Tobey was a good Peter for different periods of Spider-Man. For a vast chunk that I love and I'm familiar with, most of what Andrew did worked much better for me on both sides. Now, not the first one, more in the second one, despite the second one being horrible script. But he did a lot. He made a lot of Spider-Man's dialogue work in spite of that script.
So I didn't care too much about. I just thought his performance was what made it my favorite movie.
Oh, 100%. And again, that's. I mean, I'll let's just. Put a pause on this. I'm gonna keep. I have to keep putting pauses on things. So overall, 1 through 10, what do you guys rate the movie? I'm not saying we're done talking about it yet. I'm just curious where we're at with this.
I'm gonna go with around an 8. With one part, okay, so I'm gonna judge this on MCU movies, right? I think the part 1, the very first home movie, was the worst MCU movie, and Endgame being the best, I'm gonna give it an 8.
Okay.
So I'm going to take a sort of different approach to it. As a culmination of a trilogy, I give it a 9, maybe even a 9.5.
Okay.
As a movie on its own merits, I give it a 7, above average, good, very good.
Yeah.
You know, but with plot holes and things that you were kind of like, all right, well, why did he go to Doctor Strange before trying to plead his case? Why didn't Doctor Strange like give him other options that like were based in the real world, outside of just being like, all right, yeah, no, let's cast this spell.
Why did she break up with Happy?
I don't. Well, she said it.
I'm joking.
She said it. She said boundaries.
Yeah.
But which you can see because as she's like scooting him out the door, he hears a noise and he's like, let me go check on that, and just goes into her house against her will.
Sorry, So you're what? Giving it 2 scores or something on an 8?
So there's 2 different scores. Like the as a conclusion to the trilogy, I'm going to say a high 8 or a 9, maybe 9.5. As a movie that stood on its own, 7.57. Very, very good. Had some inconsistencies. Had some parts where whatever. And certainly the performances were amazing.
I can look past the inconsistencies. I can look past.
I mean,
those
like
things.
if it was on its own, if
Yeah.
it was a movie that you just went and you saw this movie.
I still can look past those. The reason why it's not a perfect movie to me for 2 reasons. The reason that the best thing about this movie was also the worst thing about this movie to me. The fact that the 2 Spider-Mans came in was the best thing. The fact that 2 Spider-Mans came in was the worst thing because it goes back to what I was saying. He always had help.
Yeah.
And that's where I'm at with this. And then they fixed one thing about the other movies that I didn't like. The villains are, thank you. They fixed that. So it's just the whole treating this kid with kid gloves, and he still in the 3rd movie still got the spider thing coming out. Like, come on, the Iron Man, you still dealing with the Iron Man suit?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Come on, come on.
Well, that's just really. It's really.
Would you not?
Yeah.
It takes away from Spider-Man though.
But again, he's just a kid.
That's the problem. The other 2 wasn't. They was just kids.
They were 30-year-olds playing 16-year-olds. Yeah,
Well,
I agree.
he's 25.
Now? No, is he even 25 yet?
Yeah, he's 25.
I feel like he got it when he was like 18, but okay. Even still, but he's been Spider-Man now for 5 years? 6 years. 6 years.
So he came in
He's been doing it for 7 years when they started filming it.
That's just my knock on it. I just
Well,
want
it's fine. Listen, I'm not in love with Tom
mature
Holland.
Spider-Man.
That's fine. Now we can get that.
Hopefully, that's what I'm. That's
The ending leaves it in a comic book place. I mean, granted, it's a little too far, but
Ooh, I
it
love
leaves it in a comic book place. It leaves it now where, like, now
I
it's.
love it. But go ahead and give us your take. Let's hear it.
See, it's funny because like I thought I was gonna be grading this a lot lower than you guys because like everybody in the world seems to be fucking in love with this movie. I left it feeling like it was okay. Like honestly, outside, like there were a lot of great parts, but outside of that segment from when the Peters are hanging out and doing stuff, I didn't care much about the rest of the movie.
Peter's hanging out.
Peters.
Like, like it just felt more like a
Close your barn door.
It was just kind of like it was relying heavily on nostalgia for a lot of the stuff.
Yeah.
And don't get me wrong, they did it very well. Like
That's why I can't hate.
but yeah, probably between a 7 and an 8, probably a 7. I guess a 7.5. I mean, it's fine.
I went 8. He went 7. He went 9.
I thought honestly, I thought it was gonna be a lot lower.
As a conclusion to the trilogy, if you take all
He had 2
three
scores.
movies in a row, yeah.
I thought I was gonna be grading a lot lower than you guys. Because again, like I walked out feeling like, yeah, it was fine, and like everybody was like fucking psyched. You were psyched to talk about it. I'm surprised you graded so low, based on how well you talked about it.
Okay, but let's put this in context. I didn't say this right here. When the two Spider-Mans came in, me and Baby looked at us and said, "We just said the movie just started."
Yep, absolutely did.
So, like now, the first half of the movie to me it was saved by one person and one person alone.
Doctor Strange.
No, Doctor Strange was all right, but I like to be honest with you. Doctor Strange was a plot hole that you had to get around. You know what I mean? I don't know Doctor Strange from a comic that well, but I don't know. So I don't want to get into. But I thought that your boy what's his name, Green Goblin. What's the actor name?
Willem Dafoe. Yeah.
When he was sitting talking to him, I don't know where I'm at. Like, bro, oh
Sometimes
my
not myself.
goodness, bro, this dude right,
There's someone else living in my house. Oscorp doesn't exist.
bro.
My son.
Just looking at that, it was like
He looked lost.
I was like,
He looked lost. He looked like an old man. Like
get
a
this
senile
man some
old
help.
Yeah.
And that's what happens when you let a real actor just fucking act.
is there an actor better than him?
He in this performance, he gave us one of the best versions of both Two-Face and the Joker that we've seen.
I love it.
He did both phenomenally.
Here's what I have a couple of things in this movie that I really liked that are like
Oh my goodness.
just about putting Spider-Man into perspective. And both of them are Spider-Sense related. It's the scene where Green Goblin turns. And he's just, something is wrong, and he doesn't know what it is. And he's just walking around the apartment, and he's just like, I don't know.
Oh, everything just slows down.
And he just, and then you look and it's him, and he's like, so whatever. It was his whole speech. It's
Bro,
like,
in that moment of
Pretty
everything,
pretty nifty trick you've got there.
before that happened, when it first started, it goes tight to his face.
Yeah.
And guess who's in the background?
Yep. And the other thing was, and I didn't realize until the second viewing, is during the Doctor Strange fight when he pushes him out of his body and he can't get the thing. He's like, "How are you doing that?" If you look around his head, you can see like the spatial distortion doing like the classic spider sense. Like,
I missed that.
yeah, like I was like looking at it, I was like, I can see his spider sense. It's like these little waves around his head.
He was like,
like I was like, look at that. Like and you can see it. You kind of have to look at it. I didn't realize until the second time. But yeah, there's like this halo of like wavy energy around his head, and I don't think that happened the other times that we see the people get pushed in their astral form.
No, not like so.
Like,
Not like that. Even that was a good fight because it was a great a great moment of Stuck Strange underestimating Spider-Man.
yeah. Although he really he clearly came with a game plan because he was manipulating the portals to like take out his web swinging ability. Like he swings one way and he just portal. Oh, now you're right back where you're at. Okay, let me swing away. Let me do another portal, and you're gonna catch your own leg and hang yourself up. Physics be damned.
but I feel like we've seen the portal thing enough in the two
in Endgame,
yeah.
well, in Infinity War,
in Endgame and Infinity War. Like I feel like we've seen that enough.
I mean, it was done really well.
No, it was done well. But what I'm saying, I didn't get that excited about it because I feel like I've seen that before.
Oh, and they went through it fairly quickly.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, that was probably the third best fight in the movie.
Yeah.
Behind both Green Goblin fights.
Yeah.
Although the second one was barely a fight. It was just Tom beating the shit out of an old man.
Yeah. You ever, obviously the big question anytime that you have Doc Ock as a villain against Spider-Man is that, like, okay, yeah, he's just an old guy with robot limbs. Yeah. He's not a superhuman. As soon as he gets punched by Spider-Man, pulling his punches or not, the fight is over.
Yeah.
Like, I kind of think that, like, it sort of gets around that by having the inhibitor chip. Like, maybe the chip and the tentacles force him to stay conscious. Like, or even maybe they manipulate his body to lessen the blow.
Alfred Molina did a really good job in this movie too.
He did.
He's a good actor.
You don't gonna let some kid? Oh no, he got some bite there.
I like that there was two different Doc Ocks.
Yeah.
Like as soon as they fix his inhibitor chip,
Molina
he's just
was good.
a good dude again.
Defoe was good.
Defoe wasn't good.
I wasn't in
Defoe was
love
perfect.
with how Jamie Foxx did his. I think it was a little too. It was a little too try hard.
I suppose. Here's what I did like about that though is that he kind of came across as kind of thuggish.
Yeah.
Which is Max Dillon.
Right, but it's not the Max Dillon that we saw in the previous movie.
You're right.
So he I get changing his physical form because at that point, I mean, really, he is just energy. So him being able to change, fix the comb over in his teeth, I get that.
Mm-hmm.
But all of a sudden now he's like, I mean, whatever. It doesn't matter. I'm fine with it.
He's no longer. It's my birthday.
The reason why I thought that was better because I thought when he felt it in the beginning of the movie, when he was like, something new, and I liked that. I thought that corrupted him. So that's why I went with that.
That would have been great if he was like that, but still kind of dorky.
Yeah.
He was like saying things that he thought were badass, but not really.
So it's like the Bully Parker version of.
Not super dorky, not super dorky or nerdy, but just like things were like, all right, I get it.
That would have worked too.
I get it. You saw The Wire. I get it.
Yep. Yeah. It's really unfortunate that they didn't really do didn't do a sixth villain. Although it was funny because I guess I didn't really realize until I watched a review of it, and somebody pointed out that when he talks about Peter breaking the spell, he said he broke my spell 6 times, or he changed my spell 6 times. He says it was only 5. It's like that's a reference to the Sinister Six, and there only being 5 of them.
So our new rock stars were talking about the end credit scenes with Venom.
Yeah.
And apparently Venom was pulled in.
Yeah. Well, because you know why?
He could have been the 6th.
Well, and that's the thing. Like the thought process is that at the end of the during the Venom post credit scene, Let There Be Carnage post credit scene, where he talks about all the symbiotes from different realities or across multiple dimensions.
Yeah.
Because they can dimension travel. Like when the other Venom was killed, that makes him one of the Sinister Six villains who died fighting Spiderman.
Mm-hmm.
So
that's why he was pulled in.
Yeah.
And
Allegedly, I don't know.
And then he left something.
Yep. So we were discussing that. What do you think that is? Do you think that is going to be MCU Venom, or do you think that that's just another Spawn?
The drop?
Yeah.
They will use it as MCU Spider-Man or MCU Venom.
Yeah.
Because Lord knows, I don't need any one of the fucking 15 offshoots of Venom. They're all trash.
Next question: are they going to make their own Eddie Brock, or
I hope not.
Are they just going to go straight to Agent Venom and have him attached to Flash Thompson?
I hope they go with Flash Thompson.
No, fuck that guy. He's the worst.
Well, I don't want a new Eddie. That'd be like 3 Eddies, bro.
Huh?
That'd be 3 Eddies.
I mean, first of all, they're both Eddies are terrible. So I don't really need either one of them.
You don't like a new Eddie Brock?
I hate his voice. I hate how he acts. I hate the movies. He's always walking around like he has scoliosis. I don't understand why this massive man is walking around like he's fucking crippled.
He would not watch them with a goat. He would not watch them on a boat. He would not watch the movies with the symbiote.
No, I do not care for Tom Hardy in these films.
I like him in these films.
Cool, bro.
I didn't like the first one with your boy Topher.
Well, yeah, it was miscast. But again, also, if we're going with what's going on here, it would make sense that this split of Venom would search for his own Eddie Brock. Mm-hmm. And whether chasing down that DNA, chasing down that signature, however he can figure it out, uses the same way just like in the Venom series, he uses different hosts to get to that point, and then blah, he gets his own Eddie. Then we could have again like more traditional comic book stories and do them properly, or do other things, or hell, whatever. Make him a new host for Eddie. I don't give a shit at this point. I mean, as long as there's like some actual reason for these two to fight, not just like, you know, it was just again it was forced in Spider-Man 3. So proper casting. Again, you take your time with it. Do an unknown. Hell, it worked for Tom. It worked for other actors. Just do that. Give it to Ned. I don't give a shit at this point.
No, Ned was another one that I thought did amazing. Bro, I'm not going to turn into a bad guy. And
Thank you, Mr. Keepster.
and then he just started smiling. Ned was a delight in this one, and then Nana was a delight too. His Nan,
Yeah.
she was a delight too.
I'm going to bed.
I'm going to bed.
Also, the part where MJ keeps throwing bread at him, and he's like, "You're a very deeply mistrusting person, and I respect that." Hangs on the wall. Crawl around a bit. What? That's not enough. Throws bread. Crawl around a bit. This is enough. Yep.
Yeah, like I'll say this. If nothing else, like I didn't walk out of the film in love. Like it didn't become my instant number one MCU film. I had nothing bad to say about it. Just things that I was like, all right, well, this could have been a little better if they did this. Like again, like them fighting at night. I get why they did it. Just would have been a little better if we had more time, during sunup, during dusk.
A lot of the fight scenes was dark. Even like the one when Aunt died, that was kind of dark.
Yeah.
You'd be like,
and I get that because again, like they're working on the stuff for the next day. Just that all outside of Doctor Strange, all the fights happen at night until like the very
Bridge
the
fight.
last half.
Bridge fight.
Oh yeah. Until there's that one, and then the very end, and even that's like. It's one of those weird fights where it's a fight for 2 or 3 minutes, and then Pete's like, all right, new Bluetooth, I got this.
Yeah.
And then it just becomes a joke. And then it becomes a classic MCU fight where it just becomes a joke.
yeah.
And then they're building towards this new, their new, hopefully new style of fights where they can just be more visceral, be more fuck you, Manny.
Hopefully we see some of that in Moon Knight, and
if we don't, I will walk out of my living room.
hopefully we see that in the She-Hulk series. Have her having actual knockdown brawls against her enemies, because even using Hulk in the because you don't get an actual Hulk movie, you get him as a character in the Avengers movie. He's their tank, he's their smasher, he's their so he just runs around and rah, rah, rah. So you can't really put him up against a proper villain who could fight against him. So it'd be good to see that in an actual movie or a show, I guess.
Yeah. So I'll settle on an 8, but that's a very generous 8. Mm-hmm. Just because it took a while to get there. Once it got there, it was fucking crazy.
It was there. It did get there, but it's there.
There were enough call-outs, and again, I know there were a lot of groans, but I did love that I'm a bit of a scientist myself.
Yeah.
That was pretty
But here's
good.
the thing, admit this may be a justification, but I feel like who he is and him being this, multi-billionaire, multi-millionaire, businessman on top of being a scientist, that's a line.
Yeah.
That's a line he uses.
Yeah.
Oh, 100%. 100%.
But it was also a callback to the first one.
That's his.
Of course, yeah, that's all.
That's his "Make America Great Again." I'm something of a scientist myself.
I do this all day.
Yeah.
With great responsibility comes something. What else I said? All right, let's go good, bad, and ugly. What's your good?
Peter Parker's.
Peter Parker's?
If I have to pick one specific part, it's on the Statue of Liberty after the interview on Bugle before the fight starts.
Yeah.
They're chatting. They're chatting each other up. They're fighting out more at each other. They're cheering. It's just a moment where they're all trying to cheer up Andrew Garfield. I just feel lame.
Can we do something about the down talk? Just no.
Yeah, it's
you.
I'm not saying I'm lame. I'm just saying it's you guys fight. Hey, I want to fight.
I'm worried most I fought a guy in a rhino suit.
recognize me.
No, you are amazing.
You are amazing. You are amazing. You are amazing. Thanks. I needed to hear that. Yeah, spider therapy is great.
You're good.
And even like the callback to Toby's back.
Yeah. There was enough small things all over the place where it wasn't groan inducing, and it was just like, okay, this is good. I get it. Let's see where you're going with this.
Good. I'm gonna go with goblin fight scenes. Like, I mean, there's a lot good, and even if I may loop in Aunt May's death to the goblin fight scene, because part of that is like showing the fights having actual consequences. Like, you don't get that a lot in the MCU, and that's a big fucking consequence. Like, especially in the grand scheme of things now that he has nobody. Like,
None.
That's great.
And it gave him his Uncle Ben moment.
Yeah. My good is the Goblin, but everybody brung it, bro. Like, that's like, this movie was so fun because everybody brung it. I know you didn't like Jamie Foxx, but I thought his banter was needed.
I didn't say anything. Like I said, it was weird that it was such a turn. Like, I get the physical appearance turn. It was that his character was the complete opposite of what it was.
Yeah.
Are we gonna just sit here and like I'm not naked?
I'm not naked.
Yeah.
I am.
It was listen. He was just Jamie Foxx, and don't get me wrong, that's not bad.
Yeah.
And it was just weird that again they just went like, fuck it, just be Jamie Foxx.
I also like how every character, especially in the villains, was different.
That's what I'm saying. Like it was so good. And then I don't trust nobody.
Yeah.
I don't trust nobody.
Yeah.
I don't trust you. I don't trust my hand collars. I don't trust it.
Sandman just trying to get home. Dr. Connors being obsessed with turning people into lizards. I could improve you, Max. What, make me a lizard? Yes.
Dude. Everybody, bro. Everybody. Even your boy catching the break. Everything. This movie was so good, man, from everybody. And like, that's one of the biggest problems I have with it is Peter was an afterthought. Man, okay. Peter 1 was an afterthought in most of the movie. Like, it never felt like this movie.
Damn. You gotta watch where you fall. Alright, Dees, what's your bad?
My bad is gonna be, I know y'all ain't gonna like it, but I ain't like what you call it, dying. I ain't like Ant-Man dying. I didn't. I wanted MJ to die.
We've had that before.
I just don't think she's the right MJ for him.
Well,
why, D?
That's not a problem now.
Why is she the right MJ, D?
Cause I don't know. I just wanted to be named Mary Jane.
Michelle Jones.
Yeah, Michelle Jones. It's not Mary Jane, but it is Watson though.
It is Watson. Not anymore. Shouldn't go by that.
I don't know. Okay, so ending how the movie ended, I guess it really wouldn't matter because they will all forget him anyways. Yeah. But I don't know. I liked it. I liked the anime. I really did. I liked the anime. I don't know. It's just me.
I did too, but I think that anime could get very old very fast. I have a reason why I'll say that, and I'll save that for my next question after this.
Okay.
Do I have a bad? I guess my bad would be not enough Green Goblin.
I'll go with you on that one.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. This should have been the Green Goblin movie.
I think
brilliant decision for them to just immediately get rid of his mask.
Oh, 100%.
And just
Oh,
have
yeah.
Willem Dafoe.
Yeah, like I wish either he was fighting more or honestly, even just seeing him more out in the world.
Yes.
Just like him actually, like, again, not that you need to see him like going through all the places he was talking about, but even like just like zipping, like, you know, looking around, like on, you know, stealing somebody's phone or laptop and trying to figure out where Oscorp is.
Yeah.
You know, just like, you know, him hit the back and forth with that.
All right, just go into the building where Oscorp was and just take it over.
Yeah. Like it's I ain't mad about it. Just, but again, like Willem Dafoe is an acting unit. So the more I get with him,
if he's not up for acting Oscar run, which I don't care about those, but he did that type of performance to me, man.
Absolutely.
That I'm talking about winning performance.
So my bad is gonna.
It's right.
My bad. Yeah. Thank you, Paul. My bad is gonna have to be in the grand scheme of things, like I just talked about these things, this movie kind of showing that there are consequences to the fights and to losing, and for him to actually, have to be responsible for the things that he's involved in. They immediately did away with everything with Mysterio, and it was completely and totally unrelated.
In the first fight in the movie.
When I, and don't get me wrong, great cameo with Charlie Cox Daredevil, but it was just like done, and it was almost like, okay, now he's just upset because they can't get into college because he's Spider-Man and the world knows he's Spider-Man.
Well, I think part of that. So charges against him. Mm-hmm. My only assumption is going to be that there would be files on hand about him relinquishing control of it for a period, and then finding a way to hack into or whatever about that part. Or again, I mean, technically, Quentin Beck not being a citizen of this universe, maybe doesn't count murder. As far as vigilantism goes, I'm imagining based on what's happened, the rules of the land have changed. In those 5 years, they were blipped. Yeah. So I don't know that the Discovery Accords even being enforced anymore, or if they changed the rules, and he's still registered.
So
I don't know what the rules are on that part.
One of the things that I thought would have been very interesting and would have been cool to do, and maybe this is just me having expectations that were never going to be met, would be that since he's got all these bad guys coming back to life who died fighting Spider-Man, an interesting way for him to face those consequences is for them to have a sixth member of the Sinister Six and it be Mysterio. Yeah. Somehow, whether it's a different Mysterio from an actual different universe comes over, or whether it's somehow that Mysterio is resurrected and he has to deal with, what does he do? Does he fix it to where, in the same vein that all these other people, he's going to send them back so that they don't have to die? Is he going to fix that and have Mysterio go back? Is he going to just keep doing what he did? And he's going to have to face an actual choice of, does he live this thing down and let it stay Mysterio's dead? Or does he try to change it and have to go through it all over again? That would have been more interesting, and they didn't even bother to pursue that angle at all.
Yes. And I think that's because, kind of, almost intentionally, this movie was only half about Tom Holland's Spider-Man. Yeah. It was about, I think, probably about hitting, putting a close to the previous chapters of the Spider-Man universe.
And that's fine.
So that's why they really didn't bother having anybody else in the MCU there, with the exception of Doctor Strange, because he was the magical MacGuffin just to make these things happen. Yeah. So that we could, use these characters one more time, have a proper goodbye, because none of them got a proper end to their stories, and we can move on knowing that Garfield's better for it, Tobey's better for it, the other characters are better for it. And again, they may go back to their ways, but at least for now, they have a chance to get over their personal demons. Yep. So that's what I think it was more about. And again, kind of giving a hard reset to Tom Holland Spider-Man. So we got, now he's more comic book official.
So, what I really would have thought would have been cool is if there was some way at the end when he's in his new apartment, and they would have maybe flashed an invoice or something like that, or even the thing on his GED thing, and it said Ben Reilly. That would be kind of cool, wouldn't it? So Ben Reilly is the Scarlet Spider, who was a clone of Peter Parker, who they got into a fight and separated, they thought he kind of got killed or whatever, and he assumed the identity. He went off to San Francisco, someplace, whatever, East Coast or West Coast, rather.
Yeah,
but he went off to live his own life under the name Ben Reilly, taking Uncle Ben's first name and Aunt May's maiden name, Riley. So he was this clone of Peter Parker living his own life, and in the circumstances of that, it goes off of a comic book which had those two clones basically, Peter Parker wakes up from being unconscious with a clone in the same room as him, next to him. It's never clear which one is actually Peter Parker. And it deals with that. So it would have been a cool callback. Like, to just be like, all right, he's using the name Ben Reilly because it could be his Uncle Ben, it could be Aunt May's maiden name, and like it calls back to a new identity for Spider-Man. Spider-Man going into hiding because his old identity has been erased. I don't know. I just thought it was really cool.
But it wasn't erased.
No.
Just the people knowing him.
I mean, he still has papers.
Yeah.
Hi, P. Parker. What can I get you?
It's great. No more. Now you can redo all those awkward first impressions.
Yeah. I'll go my ugly. My ugly was
Doing
going
great
to
so
be,
far, I guess.
my ugly was going to be not doing the Sinister Six.
Yep.
But since you already did, I'm gonna go with just not a grown, just not. I ain't gonna say a grown man, but just not a Peter that's like he was too underwhelmed. It was.
What?
In his third movie, he should have been a lot further along than what they had him.
Now,
I know you're going to disagree with that, but that's just
I want you to put it back in perspective. So, from his first appearance, at that point, he's been Spider-Man for what, 6 months?
Mm-hmm.
Just running around Brooklyn, Queens, doing his shit. So, he was Tony's Spider-Man for 2 years. He gets blipped for 5 years. He comes back, punches Thanos in the face. There's maybe 6 months between the unblippening to Far From Home. Between Far From Home and this movie is 1 week.
I get all that, but
So he's been Spider-Man for 2-3 years.
I get all that, but in those 3 years, there's a lot of experience gained.
Is there? He doesn't fight anybody.
He goes to space and fight in space. He's a part of the
One
biggest
time.
battle that's
One
ever
time.
been on Earth.
One time.
In time.
That's still experience.
I understand that.
He was a part of the biggest battle that was ever on
But also
Earth.
that just
battle.
happened. But also, D, that just happened for him.
Well, he wasn't in the battle in Wakanda.
No, he wasn't. But D, but again, that happened 6 months ago for him. Like, it's brand new.
I get all that, bro, but to still be on Tony Tech, that just
What are you
too
on?
away from me.
First of all, you wouldn't throw away Stark Tech.
No.
But I wouldn't have him using it right now.
You wouldn't. If you had it, you would be.
I don't.
100%.
I don't know.
There is no way you would not be using that.
I couldn't even imagine me having spider powers. I don't know.
Well, I'll tell you right now, you're a human being with flaws, you'd be using it.
At the end of the day, this is how.
And also, it's the last gift from your
I
mentor.
wanted more of him being Spider-Man instead of being Tony Parker Jr., Tony Stark Jr.
And you will.
That's
In
my
the new
hope.
trilogy.
That's my hope. That's my hope.
That's fine. But again, keeping in perspective that this shit just happened for him, they put this stuff too close together.
The MCU Sinister Six.
A tree. It's just a tree, bro.
It's just a tree.
It's just a tree, bro.
My ugly. I just had it a moment ago. Dave, Brian, you do yours, I just forgot mine.
My ugly is going to be some of the CGI for the Lizard and Sandman. Some of it was pretty bad. For as far along as we are and as good as a thing could look like, Sandman was almost less impressive in this movie than he was in Spider-Man 3.
So dark, I couldn't even see him most of the time.
Well, even when he's in the apartment.
Yeah, when you did
And he's like sitting on the thing and like, that sand fell on there was chunky ass sand. Like, it looked kind of like a badly rendered. Yeah, like, and even just the fact that he's always a sand dude. Like, he's, until they take away his powers is the only time he's, Thomas Hayden Church. It's like, man, did he just not want to show up on set? Or like,
well, in the original, he never turned back to himself, did he?
yeah, all the time.
Okay.
In a lot of the fights.
It's been a long time since I've seen the original.
As much as I can hate on Spider-Man 3 for various things that are wrong with it, it has some great effects. Like, and especially like in the Sandman fights, because he keeps kind of going back and forth between being sand and being man. Like, like there's points where they're fighting and he's punching him and he's found in church, but throwing a fist made out of and it's like it looked good. It transitioned very well, and like you couldn't really you could tell because it's CG and that's not real, but it didn't look like stand out. And a lot of the CG using Sandman and Lizard looked like CG. It looked out of place, which is odd for a Marvel movie, especially because so many characters are CG that you just almost can't even tell.
Well, that's been one knock of the MCU though.
Rocket and Groot. Like,
I know the biggest knock on Black Panther was the CG.
But it was bad CG. Like, and especially in that last fight, it was a little too like the jumping around was like that weird too fluid motion.
No, I'm just saying that's a lot of the knock I hear about the MCU is the CG ain't what it should be.
Sometimes a lot of it's really good, but like I would say as a more specific example, which is actually not even like bad CG, it's just bad editing. In Infinity War, in the Wakanda scene, kind of when they're swooping down and like coming in on the whole army and everything, you can kind of see in the long shot where like Black Panther is in his like VFX suit, where it's just a black rubber costume, and then like the closer you get, it fills in, but you can see it filling in. Like it's obvious that he's like not wearing the same costume from farther out as it is when he gets close. And I wouldn't even say that so much of that has happened. It's just it was bad CG. And it's really just those two. Like, the rest of it was really good. But
completely forgot my worst. It was petty. Oh, man. This is frustrating because it was a pretty good one. I was happy about it, and then I got distracted by the other conversations. D really threw me for a last on his.
Yeah, you got real mad defensive about my bad.
Well, because I don't think most people realize like how short of a period this Spider-Man has existed.
Yeah.
Because it seems like such a long time because all these things keep happening. It's 3. He's been in 5-6 massive movies in a 7-year period, a 6-year period, and
that's a lot of experience though.
But it wasn't 7 years.
But it all happened for him in 3 years. And most of that happened in the last 6 months.
This nigga fought Thanos.
Infinity War, Endgame.
He said it.
Far From Home and No Way Home all happened within like 7 months.
Got dusted and came back and barely like really contributed to that final scene there. Like he just fought a bunch of the aliens using the insta kill mode, and which is not even him doing anything. And then played keep away with the glove.
I disagree.
Until the ladies took over.
Yeah.
Yep.
It was something to do with Tom. I'm confident. Man, it's frustrating. I can't remember what the hell it is. I like to think of something for the worst.
Yeah, I mean, you come back with it later and move on to the topic you want to talk about.
I'm not going to remember what the hell that was about. Anyways, fuck it. My worst, let's just say Tom Holland.
Ugly?
Ugly, yeah, whatever. Pretty man, basic actor.
Even I did think he did a little better in this one, though.
Well, yeah, he actually had something to do.
Yeah. I'm talking about acting well. I
I
wanted him to say sell the Aunt May dynasty. But he did a pretty good job with it. And when they find him on top of that school and they hugged him, that was really emotional. That was really
a great scene. Just like
he sounded like he was crying.
A couple of kids just like, this is the best we can do. Like this is what we can do.
So
we can't bring her back, but we can be here for you and give you some closeness.
Mm-hmm.
So I think we have 2. So I have 2 questions. I'm not sure. We can do this first one should be quick, hopefully. The second one may take a little longer. Now that we've had 3 movies, 2 in a 2/3 trilogies, what is your favorite Spider-Man scene? Or favorite scene from a Spider-Man movie? I'll go first. Save time. I've been thinking about this for a while, and I realized this last year, and nothing has changed my mind on this. It is Aunt May's speech from Spider-Man 2.
I think we all agree on that.
Which one?
You got it pulled up?
No, I'm not going to play it. When Peter is like, he lost his powers, he's not Spider-Man anymore, and he goes to see Aunt May when she's moving, she's getting rid of stuff, and the neighborhood boy is helping her out, and she's like, talking about how, Spider-Man was his hero, looked up to him, and it was everybody loves a hero speech. Like, it's just phenomenal. It's a great actor giving a great scene, and it's phenomenal. It's still my favorite. Like, I get a few tears every time I watch it. Yeah. It's just like that is what Spider-Man is. Yeah. That scene is what Spider-Man is supposed to provoke in people.
I'll go next. Mine is Spider-Man, Amazing Spider-Man second scene at the end, towards the end, for this going into the second big fight, when he comes down to the cops and they shoot him and they're like, stop. He take his helmet off and see who he is. And he was like, they got your daughter, man. I got it. You can rest, but I gotta go. And then they were like, go ahead and go. And he just hopped on one leg and he go there. That is the most magical scene ever, bro. Like, he literally like on one leg and going through that whole battle on one leg, and at the end to lose the daughter, bruh. And then the tandem that he got redemption in this one, and that scene was so similar. And when you break that scene down. New Rockstar broken down perfect. They were like, he thought this time to like, you could tell he was, because the way he lunched and everything, it was different than everything, and it was like more based on, I can't use my webs and all this and all that. It's just so beautiful. It's just, that did it for me.
Well, yeah, and you think that they did a great job. Well, you're tying in two scenes there by including that one in the No Way Home. But specifically what you're talking about as far as that being impactful in No Way Home is that, like, it seemed like a moment where he played it over in his head. He figured out how he would do it better next time.
Mm-hmm. And he got it.
Yeah, he found that one thing that broke his heart that he could never change, and he found out a way in his head, if I ever did get the chance, how would I do it differently?
He just stopped.
But to me, that's more of a credit to the No Way Home than it is.
No. I said that scene and two was my favorite. I said then you can tandem it with the fact that he caught her.
Sidebar: it's actually in Spider-Man 1 when he gets shot and he's limping off. That was in Spider-Man 1. That was right before he has to swing to get there. And then all the crane operators move the crane to help him swing across the way to get to the tower where his lizard is.
Yeah, you're right. That's right. Well, that scene right there, I mixed up too. But just that right there, like, he got shot.
Yeah, it's when Captain Stacy finds out who he is.
Yeah, then Captain Stacy ended up dying. Yeah, you're right. But that whole, like, him coming on one and then he going to do that fight on one leg was just amazing.
Okay, I got it. This was my original worst, so I'll say here's my ugly. The complete absence of New York in this movie. Yeah. It's been happening for 2 movies now. They did a pretty good job in Homecoming with it, but rewatching the other Spider-Man movies, it's easy to forget how important New York is to Spider-Man.
Yeah,
honestly, I think it's probably one of the biggest reasons why I've loved the Garfield Spider-Man more and more. Out of the 3 of them, he's the only one that feels like he's from New York, despite being one of the furthest away.
Yeah.
I did not like that he wasn't in New York the last one.
I'm fine. Listen, I'm fine with it. We've had 6 other movies in New York. I'm fine not being in New York every movie, but I don't. If you put Tom Holland, if you put that Spider-Man anywhere, like I forget he's from fucking New York. Like, he had to straight up say, like, if he was from Queens, Cap would have known he was from Queens.
Yeah.
Like, he's just not.
Yeah.
This Peter Parker is not.
To be fair though, in the Amazing series, he lived in the suburbs.
Well, so does Spider-Man. He lives in Queens.
Oh, it's Queens the suburbs?
That part of Queens, yeah.
Oh, it's not a city?
I mean, it's...
I don't know.
The city is a big... Yes.
He's talking about Manhattan. They're like...
It's in one of the it's in one of the boroughs. It's one of the more suburban boroughs, but it's still part of New York. It's more apartments and there are more homes. And we're getting off topic here, but he still has that New York attitude, and that's why I never liked him being at that like fancy school, because it took away from him being a broke ass kid. Because they barely mentioned it in any of the series about him being broke. Because there's really, I mean, other than him being Stark's protege, there's no reason why he should be able to afford to go to Europe. Because the school ain't paying for it. Especially after being blitzed for 5 years. So.
Was Aunt May there?
Good
no,
question.
Because I'm happy at they relationship.
I doubt they're going to do that long. No idea. Doesn't matter.
No matter.
They're not part of the world anymore.
Yeah.
Sorry, you're saying?
So, I'm going to agree with you on yours, but I will. I'm going to go long on this one, but I'm going to say a couple things that are really great scenes.
Boo.
Train scene.
Well, as far as fight scene goes, like the Spider-Man 2 train scene is fantastic. Still holds up to this day. But no, I can think of 3 really good scenes, and they're all from Homecoming. One, Tony Stark showing up after the freighter incident and saying, "Tell him that if you can't handle the suit, you don't deserve it." 2,
you should be here.
The scene in the fucking car with Vulture.
Yeah, that was intense.
That's super tense scene of just like both of them realizing who each other are, and just like him not knowing what to do about it. And then the third one, being trapped under the debris and having no one else.
Yeah, he was crying out. Yeah,
having to do it himself, having to free himself. That's 3 of those scenes are great, and like I struggle to think of a lot of different scenes from any of the other Spider-Man movies that are that well done as scenes.
Don't they have a train scene?
When you say train scene, you mean the fight scene.
Yeah.
I don't include fight scenes as a scene.
Okay.
That's a choreography. That's special effects. That's not acting. That's not writing. That's not that is. There are those aspects to it, but it's more for the action and the spectacle. If you're talking about your favorite scenes, that's probably not my favorite scenes. Probably one of the most exciting scenes. Probably one of my favorite fight scenes. But those other 3 are great. But my number 1 is the same one that Paul said.
What was on the roof? That was intense too. And the blood drop.
I don't know what you're talking
In
about.
the first season, the first Spider-Man series.
Oh, that was good. Yeah, that was a very good
intense,
scene.
too.
There's no one here. How strange. Had to beat an old lady with a can of cranberries. Bike messenger knocked me down. I'm still going to go with the scene from Spider-Man 2 with Aunt May. And I'm going to do a table read, goddammit, because I want to. So it starts out with Henry, the little boy who's helping Aunt May move, go up and say, "You take pictures of Spider-Man, right?" Peter says, "I used to." "Where is he?" Henry and I agree. We don't see his picture in the paper anymore. He quit. "Why?" "Wanted to try other things. He'll be back, right?" "I don't know." "You never guess who he wants to be." "Spider-Man." "Why?" "He knows a hero when he sees one. Too few characters out there flying around like that, saving old girls like me. And Lord knows kids like Henry need a hero. Courageous, self-sacrificing, people setting examples for all of us. Everybody loves a hero. People line up for them, cheer them, scream their names, and years later tell how they stood in rain for hours just to get a glimpse of the one who taught them to hold on a second longer. I believe there's a hero in all of us. Keeps us honest, gives us strength, makes us noble, and finally allows us to die with pride, even though sometimes we have to be steady and give up the thing we want most, even our dreams. Spider-Man did that for Henry, and he wonders where he's gone. He needs him. And that gives me chills every time I see that. Like, that's such a good scene.
I want to change my bad. I do.
Yeah.
Cause like now
Was it
looking
my
at
reading of that?
Cause like
It was very conniving.
Sorry.
No, you reading that really Aunt May and the new Aunt May that just died. She was trying to keep him a hero, and she died doing it, but she did it. I had to change it. That was a good scene.
Yeah.
That was good. I don't like that she died, but I like that she died now.
Yeah. That was good.
I'm changed. I'm changed. I don't got it bad.
Not enough room to throw. That was bad.
That's my bad. No,
We need more.
I need more to
If I relinquish it, you can have it. So we got a couple minutes left, real quick before we head out. Do not give me your entire ranking. I'm only asking, where does this movie fall in your list of Spider-Man films? If you want to tell me your ones leading up to it, that's fine, but don't give me all 8. 7, 8, 9, 10, 9.
Y'all go first. I gotta think about this for a second.
Here you go first. Take a second. Okay. While you're thinking about it, I'll tell you mine. I think I'm putting it at 3. Pretty comfortably, maybe 4. It's pretty close. I'll say it's in argument against Spider-Man 1.
Mm-hmm.
But it's probably edges it out because it's able to take everything that 1 built on and go further. So I'll say No Way Home is my 3rd favorite Spider-Man movie. Right. To be clear, for the uninitiated, I'm including Into the Spider-Verse.
Yeah.
Oh, I wasn't going to include that one.
Oh, well, you should have. That's the best movie. That's the best Spider-Man movie.
I'm including that.
I'm of the same mind as you. It for me though, it jockeys between 3rd and 4th. Certainly in terms of nostalgia, I would probably give Spider-Man 1 over this movie. But in terms of like maybe overall, I would say put this one above Spider-Man 1. So it's between 3 and 4, depending on the angle I'm looking at. 1 and 2 are obviously Spider-Man 2 and Into the Spider-Verse. My difference is that I put Into the Spider-Verse as my 2nd, only because I really love Spider-Man 2. Like,
Why do you too?
I am attached to that movie.
That's fantastic. I just and again, granted, to be clear too, Into the Spider-Verse and No Way Home benefit from everything that's come before it. Like, if this movie came out and it was not including, if the memories of the first 2 series were blipped from our memories and it was just this film,
Mm-hmm.
it'd be fine. It wouldn't be bad. But knowing everything that happened, especially everything that happened with Garfield off camera,
Mm-hmm.
everything that they bogged down and talk shit about that franchise, some rightfully so, some not rightfully so, and everything that he had to deal with after that, and again, him being assaulted on every fucking interview for the last 4 months about this damn movie. But
I want him to continue to deny
it's
it.
my number 3. Go ahead, Dee.
I'm going to have to go with 4. Spider-Verse.
Number 1.
Spider-Verse. Amazing 2. The first 2. And then this one.
So you're going with Spider-Verse,
Amazing 2.
Amazing 2,
And then regular 2. The first
and regular number 2?
Yeah, the first was regular number 2.
Okay, so, and then this one?
Yeah. And to be honest with you, that top 3 can change. If I watch out there in the morning, they all might change.
So, we all seem to think that this is a great redemptive opportunity for Andrew Garfield.
Yeah.
There's a rumor that Amazing Spider-Man 3 may be getting made.
Don't play with me, bro. I don't want to hear this. I don't want to talk about it no more.
It's a rumor.
No, bro. Don't do that.
But it's
to me.
coming from much more, like,
I don't wanna hear it.
reputable sources
I don't.
like than it has been in the past.
I can't take another
And part of that rumor is that they may be merging the Venom and Morbius movies into the Amazing Spider-Man verse.
I'm about to tear up, bro. Don't do that, man.
Would make sense.
There's a rumor. I don't know.
Is Sony attached to any streaming services?
No.
Because, like, I would love a
series.
Garfield series.
Yes. Wait, all the way you can do it is give me what's called Green Goblin.
Because honestly, like, the best part of Garfield is him. The best part of Spider-Man for me always has been him just like fighting like Z-list villains or fighting regular people.
Yeah.
Because he's just goofing off the entire time. He's nothing anything really that serious. Because again, if he wanted to win, he would just lightly punch them.
But like you see the interaction that if you go back and see the interaction that he had with Jamie Foxx, Electro, and the one that just came out, and in number 2, like he showed so much skill. Like I just want to help you. Like he was really trying to help him. Like Garfield is just a good cat. He's a good Spider-Man. Funny.
Love it. So now all this being said, next week, episode 101. It's our year-end special.
What?
It's our year-end special next week.
Huh?
It is our year-end special next week.
Oh, year-end. I thought you said year-end. Like, I mean, what?
Not the conversation. So we'll determine what that's going to include. If anybody hears this and has suggestions, hit us up on socials. If you disagree with our tier list, especially mine, fight me. You're wrong.
What was your top 5 for Spider-Man?
Spider-Verse, Spider-Man 2, No Way Home, Spider-Man.
Spider-Man 3. Homecoming's pretty good.
Homecoming, probably.
Yeah.
Just because really it's almost entirely because of the car talk.
Mm-hmm.
Like, 100%.
Michael Keaton was a great villain.
He is fantastic.
He's a great actor, period, but he was a great villain in that, like, he wasn't really a bad guy. Just because you were a bad guy doesn't mean you were a bad guy.
They've done a great job of bringing in great actors, even if the scripts aren't 100. Like, again, like, the script was fine. I loved his interactions in New York, him just being a guy in the neighborhood. But Keaton elevated it. A villain that very easily could be goofy and stupid. He elevated it.
I think they teased a lot in Homecoming. I think they teased a lot that I want to see them get back to. Like even like if they built their own Sinister Six, I still kind of want to see that.
Well, he's starting from scratch now. Because I mean, he has no villains in this universe.
Why?
Because he doesn't.
No, Peter was right away, not Spider-Man.
He has no villains in this universe. There are no villains in the MCU for Spider-Man.
Why?
Because there aren't any.
Vulture.
He's
You
not
got
really
the
a
Vulture,
villain
then you
anymore.
got the one they were setting up.
The dude Scorpion.
They Scorpion.
They introduced a guy named Matt Gargan.
Then they also had to introduce of their Dr. Opp in the second one.
Huh?
Remember he was working on his maybe that was amazing. That was amazing.
That was amazing, yeah.
That was amazing. Sorry.
Listen, introducing characters with names from the comics is great. Until they actually shove a metal spine or a metal tail onto that dude's back, he's just a dude with a weird scar. That's fine. For now. I'm fully confident they will get to that point, because again, you'll get to the point just like in the Batman universe and comic books where like you have to escalation begets escalation. So when you have a guy running around stopping villains with super punches and spider sense, you're going to need villains and criminals that can keep up.
Mm-hmm.
So the guns didn't work because they got busted up. So now they're going to fucking start putting shit in their bodies. So you'll have your Cravens, you'll have Scorpion, you'll have maybe Vulture 2. Maybe somebody will see Green Goblin in the news and imitate that and create the Hobgoblin or New Goblin. Or whatever. And again, maybe they'll steal some parts, some different Stark tech and create the Chameleon.
Well,
they can do a bunch of stuff.
The world is bit for it.
Well, they've
Right.
already got
It's built for it.
Right. So I'm saying, like, right now, he has no villains. Because, again, he's only been around a couple years. And he has no villains established in this universe that are still active. Jake Gill's dead. Toombs is, if not reformed, at the very least in prison.
Yeah.
And I don't. If he does it again, I mean, he won't do it in New York.
Well, and the thing of it is also even let's assume that he does get back out and does Vulture stuff again. He doesn't know who Spider-Man is anymore.
True
so
that.
like, I mean,
Yeah, I'm done with Vulture. I didn't really too much care for him in the first one.
why?
He was weak. It was a weak.
He's just a dude in a suit.
I'm not hearing any of that. Anyways, it's a fresh start. So now they can get into some stuff. Curious how much they're going to carry over from the Sony movies into this. Or, like you said, spin it off into his own thing.
Well, it's still part of the MCU, right? It's not the deal.
I don't know how much I believe anything.
Because everybody forgot about it now. Everybody forgot about it.
Because, like, a week after, 2 weeks after announcing a new trilogy, Tom's like, yeah, I'm taking a sabbatical. And then he has the biggest movie of the last 2 years.
I mean, he may just not be Spider-Man again and may get somebody else to replace him.
Could be.
Like, they just said that there's going to be some more
Maybe
Spider-Man.
we forgot who Peter Parker was.
Well,
Maybe the real forgetting who Peter Parker was the friends we made along the way.
If this how it ended pretty good.
Although, dude, with that much money, they ain't done.
Nope.
I'm talking about for the Peter Parker. For this Peter Parker.
Unless he wants to walk away, they will give him a sizable check to come back. Unless, every movie he makes fails, which is a good chance.
I'll be fine with the Amazing series.
I don't see Uncharted being all that successful.
No.
I'll be fine with the Amazing series being the Spider-Man.
Yeah, they won't. It's hard to justify a 40-year-old Spider-Man at this point.
You boy 40?
Just like 36, 37.
Oh, wow.
In
37.
Canonically, his character is 26, 27, but he's like 36. Toby, canonically, at this point in the movie, he's technically supposed to be like 37, but is actually like 48.
But looks 25.
Toby?
Toby didn't look that old in that movie.
You know, they're young.
He looked young.
I mean, for 46, I guess.
Bro, they had to put a beard on him, bro, just to make him look older.
It's that cool youth pastor energy.
That wasn't a beard, that was just a skin. Were you wearing your glasses when you watched the movie?
Bro, that was a beard. He had a little beard and stuff
He has
going
some
on.
stubble.
Yes, he had that stuff
Still
going
a
on.
beard.
Same thing. But
He
you know what I
had
mean.
a 1 o'clock shadow.
But they had to do that to make him look older. Like, to me, you can get away with
See
Toby
his
looking
eyes.
30.
Anyways, okay, G.
But either way,
I'm not dealing with R. Kelly logic, all right?
okay, either way, I would like to see a Spider-Man movie where he's a man and not a boy.
Well, that's never going to happen because Tom Holland will perpetually be 12 years old.
No, what I'm saying is if they do the Andrew Garfield Amazing, I would be fine with that because he will be a man.
You think you're a Spider-Man with that suit? I'm a Spider-Man without it.
Spider-Man with Iron
I mean, that was the message of Homecoming.
You think you're a Spider-Man with Iron Man suit?
I'm a
I'm a
Spider-Man
Spider-Man
without it.
Oh,
So,
this was fun.
consensus for our 100th episode, we like Marvel movies. It's been our thesis statement for all along.
Forgot, spoilers.
Oh, yes. Absolutely.
Spoilers.
Listen, first of all, there's no way you listen to this podcast and have not seen No Way Home.
We gave 3 days.
Hell,
I mean, you could have
we don't listen to this.
you could have stopped that sentence a few words earlier. There's no way that you listen to this podcast.
Hard stop.
We gave them 5 days.
Yeah.
6 or 8, depending on when this gets posted.
I looked at the numbers. So, anyways, solid movie. Good times. 100th episode. Love it. Looking forward to 100 more. To my left has been P. Breezy.
So,
To my right has been D-Easy.
The brownies.
The brownies.
Amazing. Amazing.
Nice. They're very
Brownies for me, brownie.
moist.
Moist. Spinal.
And I'm your friendly neighborhood Ryan B. Online. Saying bye.
Fuck it right now.